Speaking of Owen, he's got his banjo. He's all ready to go over there. I know, Nicholas, you do a podcast. I'm going to mention that in a minute, but maybe let's get a song first.
Sure.
You know, and
we'll do a tune that was on this last record that I put out in 2021 called Folk Songs for Old Time's Sake. It's a song that was originally called Bonnie Lass O'Fivey. It's from the 1700s in Aberdeenshire, Scotland. True story about a girl who falls in love with an enemy captain, and her mother is not stoked at all about it. And when she tells him that he can't have her hand in marriage, he threatens to burn the whole town down, starting with all the women. Luckily, he dies in battle, and the song sort of goes on through Ulster and then eventually to the East Coast. And of course, the first person to record it is Bob Dylan after hearing it on his first record, and he called it Pretty Peggy-O. And pretty much everybody under the sun did it after that. Everybody from Joan Baez to the Grateful Dead and many others. But this is sort of an in-between Bob Dylan and the a cappella version that he heard that inspired him, somewhere in between that take, and called Peggy-O. We rode out to Venerio. As we rode out to Venerio, the captain fell in love with a lady like a dove. Called her by her name, Pretty Peggy-O. Will you marry me, Pretty Peggy-O? Will you marry me, Pretty Peggy-O? Will you marry me, and I'll set your cities free? Free all the ladies in the area. I would marry you, sweet William-O. Hey, I would marry you, sweet William-O. I would marry you, but your guineas are too few. I fear that my mom would be angry, oh. What would your mama think, Pretty Peggy-O? Hey, what would your mama think, Pretty Peggy-O? What would your mama think if she heard my guineas clink? Saw me march at the head of my soldiers. Come stepping down those stairs, Pretty Peggy-O. Come stepping down those stairs, Pretty Peggy-O. Come stepping down those stairs, combing back your yellow hair. Bid a last farewell to you, William-O. On if I ever return, Pretty Peggy-O. If I ever return, Pretty Peggy-O. If I ever return, your cities I will burn. Destroy all the ladies in the area. Oh, sweet William, he is dead, Pretty Peggy-O. Sweet William, he is dead, Pretty Peggy-O. Sweet William, he is dead, and he died for a mate. He's buried in that old country, oh. As we rode out to Venerio, as we rode out to Venerio, the captain fell in love with a lady like like a dove. Oh, and he called him by her name, pretty Peggy-O.
All right, it's live music today in Studio B, WNCW, Nicolas Edward Williams, and Peggy-O. Man, like a song that's a couple hundred years old and it still speaks to people. That's kind of cool.
There's so many songs that are still around that are like that, and it's mind-boggling. I think maybe that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm so fascinated with traditional music is why. I don't necessarily need to know why, but I have this constant question of why does this song continue to exist after hundreds of years of getting passed through countries and across great bodies of water, and then why you can find pockets of floating lyrics, which are just like passages that you can find in many different folk songs because people couldn't remember the words of the other song, or because it was easier to just pull words from this song.
And the songs that last like that one, is it the story that it tells? Because that story's in a lot of. Was it the melody? Like what? Why is that one?
Well, Sweet William is a constant character in many old traditional songs. Peggy, I haven't heard that name in many songs, but it is sort of a timeless tale of love that wished to exist but couldn't because of one force or another, and then sort of like your constant history in folk music of men just being very irrational. Like, oh, well, you don't want to marry me? Well, I'm going to burn this whole town down. Or you don't want to marry me? I'm going to throw you in the Ohio River. That's a constant theme, I feel like, in so many folk songs. And it doesn't even have to be a murder ballad. So I guess there is sort of a similarity with a lot of folk songs, too, that allows them, if you listen to a lot of songs that have existed for a long time, you can find sort of a thread between them somehow.
If you're listening at home and going, man, this guy Nicolas should, like, he knows what he's talking about. Like, you should do a podcast. And you do.
I do, yeah. And it's syndicated through WNCW, actually, American Songcatcher. Airs every second Saturday of the month during morning edition. They're little capsule episodes, so they're 9 minutes long. The full episodes range from anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half. And I'm in third season now, so all these stories are single stories. Instead of the original format was 5 stories, a traditional song, and then sort of on a timeline, I would go through different musicians in the root spectrum, whether it was Western swing to contemporary folk to bluegrass to Piedmont blues or Delta blues, and bring it to somebody today who's doing, and that could have been like Charlie Parr or Willie Watson or Sierra Farrell, many folks that are around there, Tyler Childers, folks that are out there doing it today that play off of traditional structures, or even pay complete homage to them, or maybe they're experimenting and sort of keeping that tradition alive, which it is very much a living tradition. So. Sure. Yeah.
If people are interested in their podcasts, they can...
Yeah, you can search American Songcatcher wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, cool. So, Nicolas Edward Williams and Owen Grimm's tomorrow night, Purple Onion in Saluda. Are you on that bill also, Owen, tomorrow night? It's just going to be Nicolas doing solo.
It's just Nick solo, which is an awesome show.
I'm sure of that. And then Friday in Asheville as part of the Sanctuary Series, Central United Methodist Church down in Asheville. Hannah Kaminer will be there, and Owen, you're on that one. And
there'll be some other guests on that one, too.
Yeah, so... And, details online. You have a website out there?
Correct, yeah, nicholasedwardwilliams.com. You can find all the things going on there.
Cool. And I should mention the show Friday night is a benefit for Transylvania County Jam. Maybe we could talk about that in a second with Owen.
Yeah, Jam is short for Junior Appalachian Musicians, and we're just one of many chapters around the region. But, yeah, I work with Jam in Brevard, and we actually teach 4 days a week now. In Brevard and in Rosman, and we're reaching over 60 kids in Transylvania County this fall. So we're able to keep that totally tuition-free because of awesome benefits like this. So thank you so much for considering to come out. It's going to be an awesome show, and I'm even going to have some of my students get on stage and play with us.
This is on Friday?
So
Friday evening?
Yeah, Friday evening. It starts at 7.
It's going to be a big old party.
It's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
Cool.